All right, guys, as you know, we recently were able to secure Randy Orton's services. We took him from the WWE. I think WWE is struggling mightily, and I would like to put my foot on their throat. The objective of this entire series is for me to become the #1 wrestling promotion in the world. Now, I have already surpassed WWE and AEW, but I want to continue on. Let's crush these guys. Looking at the roster, seeing which guys maybe lack trust with WWE, but still bring some star power. Bobby Lashley, at least in America, he is popular, and the trust is a D. Austin Theory, not much in the way of popularity. Roman Reigns would certainly be someone I'd like to sign, but his trust is a B. AJ Styles currently injured. All these guys trust in Stephanie and Triple H. It's really Bobby Lashley and Austin that do not, so I think we're going to try to get Bobby Lashley. Let's see what happens here, guys. He's not interested in us, but I think money's going to talk. Let's see what happens. I think money's going to talk. Let's see what happens. There we go, guys. WWE hated us before. They really hate us now. In subsequent weeks, we have, or I guess really subsequent months, we have taken Randy Orton and now Bobby Lashley off of their roster. I love it. They hate it. But we're going to see the debut of Bobby Lashley on this card, so I am excited for that. And speaking of that, let's go ahead and get the card set here. We do know one matchup we're going to get. We have the championship match, if you will, between Rhino and Randy Orton. The winner of that is going to get the next shot against Claudio. Haven't really decided whether or not Claudio is going to compete on this card. And with that being said, let's take a look at the roster. Let's see if we have any guys with severe injuries. Right out of the gate, Charles Young. I don't go with condition. I look at the actual image, the scan, the body scan, and this shows a significantly damaged neck. So we're going to keep Charles out. Claudio is certainly capable. Just quickly looking for red. Or even really orange. Okay, and Matt Jackson, he needs to be out as well. So Charles is out. Matt is out. Let's see here. Brian Cage. I mean, what a roster, though. I mean, take a look at this, guys. Bo Dallas. And I have to say this, too. Bo Dallas, I have been thinking lately, and this is just between you guys and me. Hopefully Bo doesn't hear this. I've thought about, roster bloat. And I'm like, how big do I want my roster to get? I mean, how much money each month comes off the books and salary before we even do anything? Maybe it's time to start cutting some talent. And I have thought maybe that would be Bo Dallas. So, sorry, Bo. Not doing it yet, though, but he can't compete on this card. So there we go. So it looks like Charles Young, Matt Jackson, Bo Dallas are going to be out. But that leaves us with a lot of talent, and we can put together a hell of a card here. So let's get to it. All right, so the card is set. I jumped over to our merch only because we are going to have 30,000 plus in the arena. So with DVD, Blu-ray, the goods, and the branded snacks, they were all out of stock. I don't want to go to the 50,000 mark, especially with the branded snacks, and have to dispose of a lot. So I'm going to go 20,000 with some of these. I'm probably missing the boat on some of these. I probably should get rid of the action figures and the terrible towels and boost that inventory. But I hate to do it. If they were in the hundreds, I would do it. But with over 1,000 each in inventory, I just hate to throw them away. And the only way to increase stock is to start at 0 and then buy new, which I understand why the game does it. And it's all about being a business owner, being a successful promotional wrestling promoter. So I've got to deal with it. So, with that being said, I went ahead, I booked the card first, as I've said in the past I should do, and I never do. Then I go ahead and I look at the merch. Now, we do have an outside participant on this card, so that worries me. Even though they begged to be on the show, they reached out to us about coming on the event. I'm still worried that they may not show. But without further ado, let's go ahead and I will show you guys the card. So here's what we have. We are starting the night with Eric Rowan versus Brian Cage. As we all know, Brian has been on a heck of a slide lately. And, Eric, it stays about 50-50 with Eric, so one of these guys can really use this win. We're going to follow that up with Yuki Hamuro, the bad boy of Dream Championship Wrestling, taking on the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes. Third match of the night, CM Punk and Bray Wyatt. This is a big one. Bray coming off of a win, CM Punk coming off of a loss, a title shot loss. So let's see what happens there, which man is moving in the right direction. We follow that up with two guys also coming off of a win on the last card. Somebody's going to keep the ball rolling. That is Ricky Starks versus Kichiro Asakawa. Then, look at this big one, guys. Bobby Lashley, WWE hates it. You know Stephanie and Triple H are tuning in. So, hey guys, how you doing, by the way? But Bobby Lashley, newcomer, just signed, taking on Brock Lesnar. This is a big one. Then in the co-main event, Noriaki Nakaido, as I mentioned, begged to be on this card. We're giving him a co-main event slot against one of the best wrestlers in the world, Braun Strowman. If Noriaki can get this done, and all of the trouble in the past that I have gone through to try to sign Noriaki, then we might have to go back and try to sign him again. But this is a tall, very tough task for Noriaki. And then the main event, of course, the championship bout, Randy Orton taking on Rhino. The winner of this will get a title shot against Claudio Castagnoli on episode number 26. And as you can clearly see from this, that we have no Claudio. So besides the injuries to Matt Jackson and Bo Dallas and Charles Young, we are also going to hold out Claudio Castagnoli and RVD. Claudio has just been a workhorse, so he deserves a break. And RVD, a little bit of an older gentleman, he could use a breather as well. So here is the card over on the right. American Rural. We went ahead, we're taking the advice of, the game to build popularity, hold events in the American Rural venues. And again, I hate saying that word, but we're going to do it. We do sacrifice. I will tell you this. If we would have, I don't even know if I should do it. If we go with, and I can't do it now. But if we went with another venue location, we were going to full house 40,000 plus. But I'm trying to build the right way. The game says American Rural. We're going to do American Rural. So that's what we have. Large hall, $20 ticket price. In order to sell out, we needed to run a TV commercial. And of course, unless he's severely injured, as always, the best damn referee in the game, Tommy Young, is our referee tonight. And we can't forget about the training center. Before we go ahead and get the card started, let's go ahead and make all these updates real quick. Then we will recoup our expenses, and away we go. And I know we could let some of these ride. I don't think it's a big deal. But I just like to stay on top of it. And looking at our levels, we have our 3 level 5s here. And, we've already accrued about $800,000 in expenses. We can't do anything with the lounge, of course. But maybe some little cheap changes here, like the balance ball. Let's level that up for 8,000. And then maybe the clinic, because I am very concerned with the health of the wrestlers. I don't want them to get injured at all, which is why I have a level 3 ring doctor. And certainly the clinic is going to help as well. So let's do that. And I think for now, well, you know what? We're making money hand over fist. What the heck? So we have made some nice upgrades here. Again, help us attract talent, keep the talent that we do have healthy, and when they do get injured, help their recovery become a little bit more speedy. So with all this out of the way, guys, let's jump into the event. Hope you enjoy the card, and I will be back with you very shortly. Okay, I took the headset off, laid it down, hit the button, not expecting this. So I've said this before, and so there's something going on with the game here. It's a coup with WWE, AEW, all these other promotions. This was done intentionally. I forget exactly what organization Noriaki is with, but I've had the WWE in my sights, set in my sights for quite some time, and we've been trying to decimate them. Whoever Noriaki is with, they're going to pay the price here. And I've mentioned it before, besides some guys like maybe a Jeff Hardy or Ryuji Goto that I know I can count on, I am done. This is it. You've seen the last one, and I hate to do that because it can make the events exciting when you bring in a newcomer for a one-off, but I just can't keep doing this. I'm hoping this remains a sellout. Let's see what we have here. Because we were over the sellout mark quite a bit. Oh my God, and it just... This is what I don't understand with this game, though. How are we that decimated because Noriaki didn't show up on the card? I mean, I know Braun Strowman would be a draw, but Noriaki doesn't show, and it takes away... I think we might have even been, oh my God, like 5,000, 6,000 over. So 15 to 20,000 people aren't showing because Noriaki isn't on the card. So, you know, it's that like the old saying, you keep doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result, you know what you are. And that's what I've done here. I've put myself into a pickle. I should have said no to Noriaki. I'm going to say no from now on. So you're going to see a new way of approaching business at this point moving forward. There's nothing we can do for this. Let's just hope it's a high average card rating. Let's hope we do give the fans something exciting to watch. I mean, we could have did Braun Strowman RVD, and we would have continued to hold on to our capacity crowd. So I dropped the ball on that. I should have never invited that idiot, and it won't happen again. But let's go ahead and get the card started. Well, my God, ladies and gentlemen, what a card that turned out to be. Unfortunately, we didn't have 30,000 plus, only 19,000 saw it live, but it lived up to everything that you would have thought it was going to be when you saw it on paper. We started the night with Eric Rowan and Brian Cage. Man alive, I just can't. I don't know what to do with Brian Cage. I'm at a loss. Brian is like the prototypical athlete, the prototypical wrestler that you would want. Every skill set in the book, and that man can't get a win. It might be time to cut Brian Cage. I spoke about Bo Dallas, or we're going to send Brian off for a lengthy training stay somewhere. But that is yet to be determined. And in the early goings on of this match, Tommy Young got busted wide open. He took 58 stitches in his forehead, but he came right back because he is the man. All right, next up we had Cody Rhodes, Yuki Himuro. Yuki started right off at about the 2-minute mark, pulled out that scythe, cut Cody Rhodes up. His face looked like ground beef by the time the match was over. He most likely will need reconstructive surgery. Yuki Himuro takes the win.
60 G's, baby!
Then we moved on to CM Punk, Bray Wyatt. CM Punk coming off of his title shot loss. Bray Wyatt coming off of a win. They reverse roles here. CM Punk with the win. Bray Wyatt put up a hell of a fight, but doesn't get the W. A scary moment around the 12-minute mark of this bout. Bray Wyatt did collapse, which really shocked the audience. It was scary to see, and we'll have to follow up with that. We then moved on to Koichiro Asakawa, Ricky Starks. And Ricky Starks, some of the stuff he does in the ring is NSFW, I have to say. But hey, he's entertaining. He gets the job done. Not a great match eval. Kind of started to bring the night down here in terms of rating. But nonetheless, Ricky with the win. Then, wow, I've said this before. The bright lights, the big stage of Dream Championship Wrestling sometimes can be too much for these guys coming in. Coming from a small organization with 5,000 people in a crowd. Bobby Lashley is used to that environment. You come into almost 20,000 rabid fans, a roster of talent like that's never been seen before, and I just think that got to him. Both guys here at about the 7-minute mark were absolutely exhausted. But Brock is able to, and it actually went double that. This went 14, 15 minutes or so. Brock able to get the W. Then the main event, kind of a surprise here. We bounced back from an 86 and an 82% match eval up to a 92 for the main event. Randy Orton went for the RKO outside the ring at one point, missed it. I think that may have injured his shoulder. He was down for a little while. But to be honest with you, Rhino was in complete control of this match from opening bell to end. We had chairs being used. I think I saw a Corian block. There was a board. There was a barbed wire bat. All sorts of things. And in the end, Rhino was able to get the win. So Rhino, on episode number 26, is going to be taking on Claudio Castagnoli for the title. This will be Rhino's second title shot. The first one was just kind of a gifted, because he's a fan favorite and he does a lot for the organization. It was earned, don't get me wrong, but this next one will be earned certainly as well. And I'm also thinking, since we have these two WWE superstars, if you will, Bobby Lashley and Randy Orton on the roster, and they both come off losses, maybe we'll pair Randy and Bobby together on the next card as well. I can tell you one thing on the next card, we're sure as hell not going to have any invites because that really ruined the card. That ruined our financial abilities. And with that being said, we still were able to dig out plus 90% of an average card rating, and we had a success. Unfortunately, we had about 11,000 empty seats, which sucks. News and notes from the wrestling world. See if anything really catches my eye here. I don't care about the AEW Tag Team Champions. Mickey is the new Ace Heavyweight Champion. And, with the amount of money we are used to making and used to stashing away in the bank at the end of every month, this is really just break even. $52,000 is pathetic. That's Bush League. That's opening night type of stuff. So, now, don't get me wrong. I'm glad we didn't lose money, but Noriaki was a plant. They really screwed us, and we're going to get revenge for that, I guarantee you. Singles tournament with COG. I think that's the home of the Great Muta, if I'm not mistaken. And with ONI, which I think ONI is Noriaki. Ricky is waiting outside. His salary is too low. Rhino and Yuki have been feuding for a while now. Well, I have to say that Rhino and Yuki, that's not going to take place on the next card. I'm glad the industry is in uproar. It'll give us something to do. We can start a program with Rhino and Yuki if Rhino does not capture the World Heavyweight Championship. So kind of bad timing for that feud to explode. And let's see here. Let's go to Owen. Let's see, was I right with KOG? Yep, that is the home of the Great Muta. And was I right with Oni? I was. There's that idiot Noriaki. So, how can we best get them? My biggest strength is just financial prowess. I've got the money to possibly steal someone off the roster. The problem is, I'll give the ownership credit. Everyone seems to be happy. Tomoki is a B in trust. And he's pretty darn popular, I have to say. And godly, his salary is low. So we could maybe try to get him. All right, let's go ahead and sit down with Ricky Starks. Change his salary. Ricky, look at that popularity. He is no slouch. He's very, very popular with the female contingent. So, let's see. He's at 1.8. Let's give him $500. That's not bad. It's like a 33% increase. Heck, at normal jobs, if you're like me, we are lucky to get a 5% raise in the course of a year. So there you go, Ricky. Enjoy that, my friend. All right, and I have to say I am still kind of somber. I am very disappointed with that Noriaki, and they set me up for that. O and I set me up, and they got me. I was the fool to fall for it. That's not going to happen again, I can tell you that. But we're going to put together a hell of a card for episode number 26. I'll get working on that now. I do have something else that I might share with you guys. I don't want to leave you in suspense because I don't know if I'm going to share it, but this is something that would be far from the norm. It wouldn't be a wrestling episode, but it has to do with Dream Championship Wrestling and a phone call that I received. A very heated phone call, and I don't know if I'm going to share it. I don't know what the legalities are. I may do that. We'll see. I can tell you, I try to stay fairly clean on Dream Championship Wrestling. I don't think there's any need, for the curse words and, to do that sort of stuff. Either I'm entertaining you with the matches and the signings and the suspense, or I'm not. But this would certainly be NSFW, and we'd probably have to use the beeper quite a few times. But you may have that coming up as well. We may share that. And it was something, I can tell you that. But for now, we're going to call an end here to episode number 25. I really appreciate you guys joining us. I hope you got some entertainment out of this. If you did, and you have not already done so, please consider subscribing to the channel. If you don't want to subscribe, at least hit the thumbs up icon or the thumbs up button, whatever you want to call it. If you made it this far, hopefully we deserve at least a thumbs up. I truly appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
If you will.